Hi, welcome
Hey!
to the Red Reverend,
Reverend Paul, hey.
and welcome to Prayers Radio Conversations. We are only about prayer, Ernest
Affirmative
Holmes,
prayer.
and we have a wonderful guest today, Reverend Marilyn Sprague. Did I say that right?
Sprague.
See?
Doesn't matter.
That's all right. May I call you Marilyn?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Fabulous, fabulous. All right, so we're going to have Reverend Marilyn get in though first, so we start us off right here.
Oh, all right. So let's just take a deep breath in. Oh, feeling the graciousness, the expansion of this day, and breathing in life and in knowing there is this one life that is that one mind of infinite intelligence, infinite potentiality. This life is all there is, all that is seen, all that is unseen. And so in this moment, we open heart and mind to that infinite potential, that infinite substance, the all-knowingness of the one mind. And in this now moment, in the knowingness that there is nothing outside of this one mind, it means that each of us is of this infinite intelligence, fully available right here, right now. And so as we open this infinite possibility and we come together on this platform, in this radio show, I claim and affirm that that wisdom that is available, that resides at the core of the being, reveals all that is ready to be revealed as it pertains to prayer. Prayer as that spirit source that opens us to infinite possibility. So I am knowing anything that needs to be said regarding prayer is said, that the wisdom comes from within, and that anything that each of our listeners is needing to receive is received, for there is that infinite reciprocal nature of spirit, the giving and receiving, that eternal circuit of life. And so I am knowing that this time together is infused with enthusiasm, excitement, exuberance for prayer. Prayer as a spiritual resource that opens us to the infinite possibilities available in, through, and as the one mind. And I am so grateful that spirit is all there is and fully available right here, right now. So in the knowingness that it is all God, it is all love, and that is truly the only thing happening here, I place this word into the activity and action of the law that is the eternal servant of spirit, the law that only says yes, my beloved. And so with absolute certitude, knowing that prayer once begun is already done, together we say, and so it is.
So it is.
That was
Wow.
fabulous.
Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
Marilyn is a CSL minister, Centers for Spiritual Living, csl.org. And what she does is, we're talking before the show, and it was really interesting, Marilyn. You were a Toastmaster. I'm a Toastmaster. I'm, 2021 and up to present. So we know how to talk. Of course, reverends, we know how to talk anyways, Paul said, "Where's the hook?" Because we always talk. What's interesting is you were a DTM, which is also a part of the National Speaker Association for that. I just bring that up because I just found that just fascinating about yourself. But do you want to tell our audience a little bit more about yourself?
Absolutely. Well, all of, the distinguished Toastmaster, being a part of Toastmasters, I highly recommend being a part of Toastmasters. If you're you have an idea that you really want to get out into the world, Toastmasters is absolutely the place to be on platform and be able to express your ideas with clarity. And I really, really loved being a part of a committed group of individuals that were together for the sole purpose of supporting each other in growing and building speaking and leadership skills. So that was a part of the past. And currently it's the path, as having been ordained, it's now what is my ministry. So right now my ministry is in a liminal state. The past is the past. I have served as a staff minister and director of education, and education is my passion. I am absolutely passionate about the philosophy of science of mind, and because it's an empowerment philosophy, and that is my passion, empowerment. People growing and accepting the absolute magnificence of the truth of who they are. So that's my passion.
What I found that's interesting when we were talking before is that on show 37 we have Reverend Audra on there, and you did some work with Next Gen and the young adults of the community and stuff, which I thought was fascinating.
Yes, the Next Gen, which for Centers for Spiritual Living is the approximately 18 to 35-year-old, and I had the distinct pleasure of being minister in residence at Camp Cedar Ridge, which is the property is owned by Centers for Spiritual Living, and so for 3 summers worked with Next Gen population, developing, refining, piloting, and implementing the summer intern program, which is specifically tailored for Next Gen individuals to come to camp. It's a residential program. They live at camp for the summer, and it's a combination of sacred service and sacred study. So they have the opportunity of seeing spirit at work in a hospitality environment. So I designed the curriculum, we piloted the curriculum, made sure that it was a sustainable program. And that was a lot of fun. And so I had the distinct pleasure of meeting Reverend Audra when the Next Gen group came to camp. So a lot of fun, and there's a lot of great stuff happening with Next Gen.
It's just wonderful because to be in service to help people that are the age group. My daughter went to Next Gen and it was having a good time. But
it's a different perspective.
Yeah. And, a lot of people that we've talked to over the many times that we've had conversations, they wish they found this philosophy earlier because there's no dogma and creed in our philosophy. Is that right, Paul?
Correct. But
So,
you always want to find it earlier, but yet you're at the perfect moment to find it when you find it.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and get into the questions. How does prayer show up in your life?
Prayer is everywhere in my life. Here's what I would share with our listeners, and that is journaling for me is a tool that helps me see prayer demonstrated. So when I write an intention, if I didn't journal and actually date when I wrote that intention, I wouldn't necessarily see the demonstration. But I'll give an example. I wrote an intention, and it was specifically about, new ministry, because as I mentioned, it's in a liminal state right now. 10 days later, an opportunity revealed itself. I'd totally forgotten about writing a specific intention, which for me is a form of prayer because it's asking from the one mind, what is the new good that you are asking to have revealed? And I wrote a specific intention, totally forgot that I wrote the way I wrote. But when I went back to it, there it was within 10 days. I had to count on my calendar and I went, wow, 10 days. Here's the response. So for me, prayer shows up. I mean, I have a prayer partner, I have an accountability partner. Each of those is based in prayer. And a prayer partner I meet once a week. In 1 week, the response, the demonstrations from prayer it's palpable. It's so ask. I think the clue is being willing to ask for your heart's desire and then release it and let spirit do the work. So the refinement for me is being clear on what you want and then let spirit do the how. And it shows up. every day, in every way.
I was going to ask you
Now,
the
how would you prep your day in prayer?
First, it's gratitude before I even get out of bed. There are 3 statements. I give thanks for this day. I give thanks for my life on earth. I give thanks for the privilege of serving. And that's before I even get out of bed. And you can just start to feel the energy flowing. I have a very specific spiritual practice where I journal. I read inspiration. One of my favorite books by Ernest Holmes is 365 Science of Mind, which is a daily inspirational. And so I read, and here's what I found is that it's always the perfect and right thing. It's like
Mm,
spirit uses every resource to reinforce exactly what it is you need. So read that, and then I do meditation, and that starts my day. When I don't do
mm,
my practice, I feel off. I feel off. In terms of journaling, very specific, it's 3 successes. So a previous senior minister shared that so oftentimes we feel that we're inadequate. He said, this is like building a competency journal. So I call it successes, and they can be I did daily spiritual practice today. I did my mini exercise program today. So it doesn't have to be something really, really big, but it's 3 successes, 3 gratitudes, 3 evidence of abundance, and 3 self appreciations. So the self appreciation is I love and appreciate myself. It's not approve, it's I love and appreciate myself for. And three in each of those categories. By the end of the week, when you review your journal, you begin to see the patterns. You begin to see the patterns. You
mm.
begin to see spirit all over your life, in, through, and as everything. So that's my morning practice.
So do you just write it on a piece of paper? I mean, I have a checklist that I use for every single day, but
No,
or do
I
you do
have a
electronic?
notebook. I have a
There you
notebook.
go.
This is my journal. I know a lot of people like those little journals. They're too small for me
Mm,
because so every day
Mm,
I put the date. Um, I focus on, there's life, love, light, power, peace, beauty, joy. Those are Thomas Troward qualities of God. And so each day I focus on one. I just
mm,
keep repeating them: light, love, power, peace, beauty, joy. So each day I write the date, the day, and the God quality. And it's amazing how, the inspirational reading aligns with whatever that God quality is on that day. And then as you go through the day, it's like, well, wow, look at that. It when we heighten our awareness of spirit at work in our life, we really do begin to see, or I should say, I do begin to see the being in, of, and through my life.
mm,
And so these are the practices that help me to really be aware of spirit at work in my life and to feel that connection and to know that my life is deeply rooted in the mind of God. Deep, deep roots. There is no separation, and it's fully available. And it's like really being willing to ask spirit for how you want life to show up in your life.
mm.
Now, do you ask spirit or do you tell spirit?
I ask.
Okay.
I ask. Because I'm asking for the innate wisdom to be revealed for the how.
Mm, okay. I get that.
I mean, maybe it's a tell. I would say having a clear mental equivalent, for me, that's an ask, not a tell.
There you
It's
go.
a clear mental equivalent. I'm clear on what it is I want. So being clear on what it is, I guess the definition is that an ask, or is that a tell? I think that might be splitting hairs. The important thing is be clear on the ask, or be clear on the what. Be clear on what it is that you desire,
That mental equivalent
because
is in there. Yep.
the mental equivalent is everything.
Yep. What triggers a prayer in your life for you? Uh, what do you do? Like if you have doubt, do you just go into that spot, or if something happens, boom, hello?
Yeah. Here's what I found over time with dedicated spiritual practice, there are fewer and fewer of those, because the clarity has been set through spiritual practice. So the chaos isn't there.
Mm-hmm.
There is clarity that comes through. I wouldn't say that I have a lot of triggers. I would say that when unexpected things happen, it's my go-to is spiritual mind treatment. If it's something really, really serious, I go to my prayer partner. It's like,
Mm,
um, I can't emphasize enough the importance of having a prayer partner, and that it's really dedicated on prayer. It's not about talking about what happens. It means here's the ask for that, and that there's absolute spiritual mind treatment, and it's reciprocal. So each person
Mm.
asks, there's a prayer for each person. And then when you come back, it's like, well, what's the demonstration? Because we know that the instant, once begun, the prayer is already done. So what's the demonstration?
Mm.
And here's what's exciting about that. There's research that shows that if you have something positive to look forward to, that sense of expectancy starts releasing endorphins in your body. So having a prayer partner is kind of like having an endorphin cocktail kind of thing, because there's this positive expectancy of, oh, I get to be with my prayer partner today. And because we know that prayer is always answered, and sometimes it's even in a way that we don't expect it to be answered. So it might be that
Mm.
was for clarity. And it may be that you're required to release something that you didn't know you needed to release. Well, you can't spirit, not that way. I didn't mean it that way. It's like trusting divine order. I asked,
Mm.
this was revealed, it is part of the demonstration. And if it was a release that maybe we weren't aware of, it's clearing space for the new good, because new good cannot flow into cluttered, crowded spaces. So it's like
mm.
sometimes we have to do the release before
Mm.
we're truly open to receive. So for triggers, I don't have a lot of triggers.
No, okay, that works.
Mm.
Yeah.
Uh,
Are,
Go
are
ahead.
are
What's
there
the next one?
specific steps that you use in prayer?
Being science of mind, it's the
Oh.
5-step spiritual mind treatment. I always, when I'm instructing classes, I say, you can't get it wrong. Prayer is always
Mm.
answered. So, do we teach 5 steps? Yes, we do teach 5 steps in terms of, recognition or declaration, unification, realization, gratitude, and release. Yes, we teach those 5 steps, but you can't get it wrong. If you release and open your mind
Mm.
and align with spirit, name and claim the good, prayer is answered. So for me, yes, 5 steps. I also, okay, one of my favorite is from Emma Curtis Hopkins, and it's Praise and Raise. And I don't know if you're familiar. Are you familiar with Praise and
Raise
Raise?
and, raise and praise is what I think
Yeah.
we call
So
it.
I praise my life. I raise my life in the name of love. So, okay. So that would fall in with the triggers. Like say I'm really upset with someone. I go to praise and raise. I praise my life. You always start with self. I praise my life. I raise my life in the name of love. It might be in the name of harmony. It might be in the name of wellness. It might be in the name of perfection, whatever it is that you're naming and claiming. And then I praise and
Mm.
raise the person that I'm upset with. And then you praise and raise everyone everywhere. Well, when you do those activities, the physical act releases whatever that tension was. So it literally is um, the physical act as well as what you're saying.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that a
Praise and
lot.
raise. Yeah, it's one of my absolute favorites. It's funny because when I was at Camp Cedar Ridge, the summer interns, they liked a different form and they were like, no, we don't want to do praise and raise. I was like, oh, come on, let's do praise and raise. But they got to what they preferred.
How do you explain this philosophy to somebody that doesn't know anything about it? I mean, I'm sure you've had that with the younger generation that come in. They're like, "What is this stuff? Why am I here? I like the atmospheres."
Yeah, exactly. I have two phrases that the philosophy helps us understand that we always have the freedom to choose and the power to be that which we desire. So it's freedom to
Mm,
choose and the power. So we have the creative power to create that which we desire. It is an empowerment philosophy. Ernest Holmes said it was a philosophy, a faith, and a way of living. And
way of
I
life.
embrace that fully. It is a philosophy. And what is the philosophy? It's an empowerment philosophy. And so I think we find science of mind at a time in our life when we're willing to take responsibility for our life. If we're still in the name, blame game, whatever that is, science of mind isn't going to work for you.
Hmm.
This
Mm,
is freedom. It is freedom. And if that is, we want the freedom to create, science of mind teaches us exactly the creative power that we do have.
mm. Hey,
That's
have
why I
you
love the
seen your
spiritual
prayers
principles
evolve
and
over
the
time?
practice. I'm sorry, Paul. I
I'm
didn't hear
sorry,
the
there's
question.
a delay here. I'm sorry about that. But I was wondering, have you seen your prayers evolve over time?
Prayer. Initially, I didn't get spiritual mind treatment. I remember going through foundations and we got to spiritual mind treatment. And I was like, what? I don't understand it. And I really didn't get it. Plain and simple, I didn't get it. And it wasn't until the spiritual mind treatment class. I had a fabulous instructor and I really understood. Here's
Mm,
why the steps. And so there was maybe a year after I took foundations that I was just kind of like, I know they talk about science of mind treatment, but to me it was like blah, blah, blah. Until I mean, I'm just being honest. And
Right,
then when I
right.
took spiritual mind treatment and I really understood the 5 steps, from that point on, it it made all the difference in the world. I will say though that praise and raise, I was
mm,
introduced to that early, and for me, that's still a easy go-to that absolutely shifts energy in an instant.
Mm.
mm,
So over praise and raise, absolutely my go-to. I love it. I like how it feels in my body. Spiritual mind treatment, an absolute staple in my spiritual practices. Certainly evident through my prayer partner every week, as well as the accountability partner I have. That's based on spiritual mind
mm,
treatment. And again, I just believe that when we align with spirit, we name and claim, it flows through. So
mm.
I'm one that will say, okay, spirit, I need help. God is all there is. Like God is, I am. Therefore, I need help. Here's what I need help with. Thank you. I release law. I know you're at work. I can kind of do that too.
Well,
So
that
it
tells
doesn't.
us
Go
it
ahead.
tells us when you release it to law. So you just got that question. So
Well, and I know there are people that have asked, okay, so if you do a prayer and the demonstration doesn't fully reveal itself immediately, well, do you go back and pray again? Ernest Holmes tells us that once it's released, it's released. The universe is in action. And also, you can come back and ask the same thing, just stay in alignment. just stay in alignment. So often I think that we ask for something and then there's well, maybe it's this, well, maybe that. And it's like, no, in
Mm,
spirit, there is no need to compromise. As long as it's the highest and best for all concerned, there is no need to compromise. You can have exactly what you want.
So, do you do the argumentative prayer with it? It
There
sounds
are
like,
times, yes,
yeah.
there are times it's absolutely necessary because we may have, I know I've had deeply rooted beliefs that are false beliefs. So I may be claiming abundance, and that little voice goes, "Yeah,
mm,
sure, Marilyn. Tell me about it.
sure.
Yeah, sure." And so then I'm like, there is no thing, no one that can interfere, that can obstruct the flow of abundance in my life that is absolutely flowing lavishly, abundantly, fully, freely, until I get that energy going. And then it's like, okay,
Mm,
now I'm ready. So I do
Nice.
believe in argumentative because there are some times that our doubts are so powerful that the whole time we're going, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
mm,
Well, we're at the 4 minute mark, and so I'll point out that you've already covered the book that you want that you
Yes.
like. That's your favorite Ernest Holmes one. Paul, you could go ask the question about what her favorite. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, do you have a favorite quote from Ernest Holmes that you go to?
Well, my favorite quote is from Emma Curtis Hopkins. So it isn't, and she was the
Mm,
metaphysical teacher of teachers. So Ernest Holmes learned from hers. And that is turn from the face of appearances and hold steadfast to the truth. So looking at any
mm,
situation, it can be chaos, it can be lack, it can be a health situation. We're not spiritual bypassing it. We're not saying, oh no, that doesn't exist. We're saying, yes, and here's the
mm,
truth. So turning from the face, we're acknowledging it, and here's the truth, and holding steadfast to truth. That for
mm,
me, it was taught to me as living in the and in order to um, avoid spiritual bypass, acknowledging what is and naming and claiming the truth that exists in that situation.
How would you explain to our audience what spiritual bypass is? The short version.
Spiritual bypass would be like like saying everything is okay. Oh, somebody says to you, "Well, how is everything?" Oh, everything is fine. When you've had a
mm,
significant loss and your heart center hurts, but you're saying, "Oh, everything's fine." No, it's I am experiencing pain and I need prayer. I need prayer. And I often share with people, will you allow me to hold the truth for you? I know this is a difficult
mm,
for you. Do I have your permission to hold the truth for you at this time until you're able to hold it for yourself? And that's what a prayer partner does is it holds the truth for us when
mm.
we're not able to hold it for ourselves.
That is wonderful. I see. We get such nuggets out of this whole show, don't we, Paul?
And I love the living in the and part. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
it's everything. It's like, okay, there's a whole lot going on in our world right now. To say, oh, but we're just going to do prayer and God is good. That is not going to serve the people who come to us for help, for spiritual guidance. It's saying, yes, there is chaos. Yes, there is a lot of ugliness being revealed right now, and spirit is right here and available. Now, what do we right here, right now, want to name and
Mm,
claim for our mini universe? Because it's going to ripple out. I may not
mm,
be able to do anything about what's happening in Washington, D.C., or what's happening in Europe, or what's happening in Asia. I can do something about right here.
mm.
And that ripples.
Right. And there's a difference between saying, "Oh, I'm just going to do prayer," and saying, I'm doing prayer, knowing that the power of the prayer is there.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and again, once the prayer is begun, we know it's already done. And it's not up to us to make it happen. We're
Mm.
simply aligning with spirit and allowing spirit to flow through. You know, one of my favorite gifts from a practitioner was a little button that said, "Make my day, ask me to pray." Because, you know, when someone comes to us and asks for prayer, that vibration is flowing through our body. So we're getting the benefit of it. So I'm like, yes, I want to pray with you.
Mm.
Absolutely. Because that vibration is flowing through my body.
I want one of those buttons.
Yeah. I think it was something that it was a practitioner retreat,
Right.
and I was a student that this person was TAing, and she gave me that button, and I love it. I've had it for well over a decade, and it's right by me. It's on a little plant right next to my coffee machine, and it's like I see it first thing in the morning. Yeah, make
Well,
my day. Ask me to pray.
there's
Mm.
a lot of people that listen to us will probably want to do that for their own centers. Uh,
Yeah, we might have to. That might be something you could do with your show. Is you know, and then have your promo radio show on the at the bottom of it with the
I
link.
like that. Well,
Mm.
Yeah.
we might just take that. Who knows, Paul? We'll figure it out. Hey, let's go ahead and ask the last question, and then let's go ahead and close the show up because we're a little bit behind here.
So, Reverend Marilyn, is there a takeaway that you would want our audience to know about the show?
About the show or about prayer?
About us here being together with our
What do you want?
audience
What do you
viewing
want
it?
our audience to know about what you've just said today? What do you want to leave them with?
Prayer works. Open yourself up. Prayer works.
Mm.
And the more you do it, the more you'll see the demonstrations. And that absolutely spirit is lavish, unfailing abundance, and it's fully available right here, right now. And so get clear on the what, dare to
Mm.
ask, trust, trust.
That's
Let spirit
nice.
deliver.
So with that, I'm Reverend Rich, Prayers
This
Radio. This
is
is,
Reverend Paul. I am Spirit Alive.
and we just say great thanks to Marilyn for coming on the show, Reverend Marilyn. And would
Yes,
you like
thank
to
you.
pray
Thank
us
you.
out?
Absolutely. Oh, so in the lavish abundance that is the truth of spirit, we just breathe in the fullness of life,
Hmm.
in the knowingness that God is all there is. We give thanks for everything that has transpired here this morning, that the Spirit infused this program with innate wisdom, that everything that is necessary to bless everyone who listens to this program is revealed in divine right order, divine right time, knowing that everything here is for the highest and best of all concerned. We give thanks for this time together. We give thanks for the blessing of spirit flowing in through and as each of us. We give thanks for prayer at work in each of our lives. With that, we give thanks,
Mm.
we let it be, and together we say, and so it is.
What is?
And so it is.
Okay, everybody say bye.
Perfect.
Bye.
Thank you, Marilyn.